Hey guys, welcome back to another week of e-commerce marketing chats with myself, Charles, and Jimmy. Jimmy, how's it going,
Hey
mate?
guys,
It's
yeah,
been
good. Firstly, I want to apologize for missing last week. So I was getting pretty like bad. I wouldn't call them migraines because I have had two migraines and they're just crippling, but these were like pretty significant headaches, I'd say. But it comes back again to other things we were talking about. I was working on this app that I was building with AI, and I literally got lost in like a black tunnel pretty much for 4 days kind of building this thing. And I think I would, some nights I didn't stop. I was up to like 3 or 4 in the morning, and Charles messaged me Tuesday night. It's like, "Hey Jimmy, you ready for the call?" And I swear to God, I thought it was Monday. Like I didn't even know. And then I was like, I already had a headache, and I read Charles's message. I'm like, oh God, there's just no way I could do a show tonight. Like I'm just not in the headspace. I've got a massive headache. It would be
migraines are the worst as well.
Oh, it
Like,
was
I used to get
it
them as a
wasn't
kid, and it's
quite a
like,
migraine, but it was headed towards that way. I've
yeah,
had two migraines and like ever I would say, and they're just like crippling, like run for a cold shower, like curl up in a ball
yeah,
type, just horrible. But yeah, so as much we preach about like how much AI helps, I was in a rabbit hole for 4 days and I basically have to start again now. So something that I was working on, it in a very long story short, it updated the Node version and then I couldn't reverse it and there was just errors across everything. So I basically had to shut it down. And fair to say, Tuesday night I was not very happy. I spent a lot of time on it, but I think every time you kind of, I think this is what separates people as well. Like, you know, I'm I'm having to force myself to go back in to start from scratch. It's like, oh, I spent so much time on that. I don't want to do that again. I have to keep reminding myself, this is the point where a lot of people would just give up. So, it's hard. You spend a lot of time on it. It didn't work out. You don't want to reinvest the time again. But I learned a lot of things along the way that I'm not going to do the next time. So, uh, and it's not even valuable information I could share. It's just like mistakes that I personally made about wanting to do things certain ways. And I guess that's something that people could take from it. Like, don't get stuck in your ways. Like, explore better ways of doing everything. Um, don't look for those shiny object syndrome constantly. Like, those shiny objects, like, I should do this, I should do that. Have a look at the fundamentals, see where you can improve, and then take it from there. So, yeah, getting stuck into the ecom world, I think I'm not sure if this is worldwide actually or just Australia, but we're almost in June, and June is like a notoriously good month for Australian e-commerce businesses because it's the end of financial year. So they do a lot of end of financial year sales coming in June. So it's like it's not quite on par with kind of November and the Black Friday month, but I would say it's probably the second biggest month in terms of sales and kind of revenue that's pushed through the month, especially higher priced ticket stores. They do pretty significant discounts come like end of financial year to clear stock, start fresh before kind of a new financial year rolls in.
interesting. Yeah, I know in the States they've just had Memorial Day sales, which is one which some e-commerce stores participate in, and I was working on for one of my clients. But I don't know whether that ties into the financial end of the financial year in the US.
I think as
Um,
well, like I think about our like mine and my wife's own spending habits. Like there's a couple of big ticket items that we need around the house, and subconsciously we're already thinking, oh, let's just wait a week and wait for the end of financial year sales. So I think that's a good indicator for brands to, start putting out some awareness campaigns or even start your campaigns now because people are actually thinking about it and looking for it now. One of my clients has already started their end of financial year campaigns, and a couple of others are moving more towards for when we come into June. It's start of winter here in Australia, so a lot of winter campaigns are starting as well. So those seasonal businesses are kind of making that shift from summer to winter. For an example, I've got a snow and skate company that I work with. Snow is much popular in winter time compared to compared to summer, and like water skiing is pretty prevalent in summer, so you kind of make the shift across from where those searches are going and what people are actually wanting for the season too. Even apparel brands, they move away from the summer gear and more jackets and warm weather gear, I guess. But if you're in the States, complete opposite. And you'll be coming in to summer. So depending on where you are, like seasons will be changing. This is a significant one, like pretty much the winter summer shift.
Yeah. Yeah, where I'm at, there's not really a season. It's just hot and humid. Here in Malaysia, it's there's
Oh,
just
you
one season pretty
won't have to
much.
worry about any snow gear then, will you?
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. But yeah, it's the opposite for the UK. Summer months are kind of coming in now. It's like we're kind of polar opposite, aren't we, to
Yeah.
Australia?
Hey, Charles, I've got a few SEO questions to kick us off, and I haven't prepped you for them either. So,
Okay.
it's a but
No pressure then.
something I've been working on this week. So one of the things I noticed is one of the blog articles that we posted maybe 6 months ago. The traffic's kind of starting to taper off a bit on it now. It was going from about 100 clicks a day to like 25 a day now. So,
Okay.
but when I look at it in the organic search, what annoys me with Shopify when you write blog posts is that the RD, like the publish dates, usually in the snippet for the blog article, so the date that you publish. But it's because of the date showing, it's starting to make the blog look a little dated, even though it's kind of evergreen content. Um, I'm wanting to take like the publish date out of the organic Google snippet. Is that something that you've worked on before, or how I can get
Uh,
into the schema to kind of remove it?
yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's probably the Shopify theme if you're trying to remove it from the back end.
I think it's Shopify like standard. The Shopify have in the content section, they've got a blogs section in there. Um, so I think it's pretty universal across every blog post on Shopify. I could be wrong. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the actual publish date and the pros and cons of it? Is there any reason to keep it on? Like, I just want to get rid of it because all the blog posts that we do, the the app that we use is called Bloggle to do the blog pieces. If they could actually publish to a page rather than a blog, then I'd definitely do a page. But the app doesn't work on pages within Shopify, which is why we have to do blog posts. But it comes with typical blog features like publish date and comment section and things like that. I kind of want to remove all of that.
Yeah, I mean, what you can do is keep the original publish date, but then just put like last updated. So that's kind of a workaround. So it shows that it's to Google that it's fresh content, and anyone that lands on that blog also it shows that it's the most up to date information. So that's kind of one way around it without just completely removing the publish date. And I think there is actually some relevance in having some form of publish date on there. Um, it used to be, I'm not sure how well it works now, but it used to be like people used to just keep exactly the same content and then just change the update, the date of which it's been published, and then that would actually have an effect on rankings because it would be seen as fresh content. But I don't believe that works as well anymore. I think Google probably caught on to that one. Um,
At the moment, like I've deleted I haven't deleted the code. I've commented it out from the theme file and the back end of Shopify, so it's not showing. But I haven't tested it yet, and I'm not sure if it's updated. I'm not sure if it's updated the organic listing or whether it's just hiding it from the actual website itself. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, I'd have to look into that in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, because what I'm
But
thinking is, like, we want to leave these posts as evergreen. And if someone's not going in and updating, well, they won't be updating it because it's pretty evergreen. So if we leave it for 2 years, those organic searches, people that see that blog, it's going to be from 2 years ago and be like, oh, how relevant is this now? And it's probably going to, well, in my opinion, it's going to affect click-through rate.
It, yeah, it's funny because I was reviewing a site the other day, and actually one of their best pages on their site is a blog post that was posted in 2022. Um,
Did it have
so
when was it on Shopify and did it have the published date in the organic listing or not?
it was in there. I'm not sure. Well, it was on the page. Um, I don't know whether it was visible from search from
Yeah,
within the
okay.
search results page. That's what you're talking about
Yeah,
specifically, is it?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'd be pretty
I wouldn't
confident in
mind if it
saying
was
that is
on
the
the
case.
page and not in the snippet, like organic snippet, because all I care about is getting the traffic to the site. So my issue is that might prohibit them from getting to the site initially, thinking that the content's dated.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I can see that having a negative impact. Um, I would take a guess that that probably is something that could be changed within the schema. I would have to have a look at how to actually do that because I've not
I wonder if there's like an app
necessarily
that
done that before.
just updates the
Probably
published date
is.
to the today's date every single day or
Yeah,
once a week.
yeah. There probably is. There probably is some form of Shopify plugin or some app or whatever. Um, but yeah, I would say if it's dropping off in terms of things that I would be looking at is, well, first and foremost, I'd be like, what else can we potentially add or remove to make this post more valuable? Is there some additional, multimedia that we could add in? Maybe a video, maybe some, graphics to represent some data in a post. If there's any data in there, I would be reviewing the SEO title and the description again and just seeing what's outranking it at the moment and like is there any correlations between some of the top performing blog posts and can you reverse engineer what they're doing? And then you would start to look at, okay, is there a way that we can start building backlinks specifically to that
Hmm.
page? Which, it's no quick fix. Like, especially if you want to build backlinks the right way, you can, there's ways that you can just pay for links. They still work, and it's probably the safest way to actually build links to blog posts anyway. It's something that I actually recommend if you're going to buy links. Um, I would always recommend linking to blog posts rather than a product or a collection page, but just because it's a far more natural way. You're more likely to get a natural link to your blog post versus just someone linking to a random collection or product page on your site. Um, so yeah, those are a few things that I would take a look at first. I just go through and start reviewing where can you make some improvements.
Yeah, okay, cool. We'll start there and yeah, try to dig into why it's dropping off. That's probably a good starting point, definitely. So, as you know, I don't do a lot of SEO or even blog content. So, usually I do have questions about this stuff because I'm not doing it very often, and I'm not probably not that well versed in it. We have seen good results from it. It's just I'm kind of just going off my gut instinct from the data mainly, and data is my strong point, so I can kind of leverage that part. It's the SEO nuances that I'm not well versed across. Like I have a pretty good general understanding. Like I could talk with most general SEOs. It's like when it starts getting into the technical schema stuff, it's like, oh God, how do I do this stuff? Or should I even be
Yeah,
removing this or that kind of stuff? So um yeah, it's I've had a I feel sorry for e-commerce stores at the moment. Like I feel overwhelmed with just how much stuff is coming out in AI, how much is changing in our industry at the moment, how much, I've got to implement just across the clients that I do have. And I'm doing one aspect usually for the clients. I'm doing usually the Google Ads. Business owners got to trust multiple people across multiple things and then figure out what's working, what's not, and then where do we go to from here. One of the hard things, it came up today. One of my clients asked me, "Yeah, Jimmy, we need more foot traffic to the store." It's like, I say the same thing. It's like, I'm not the person for that. Like, I'm here to sell your product online. I have no way to track how many people are coming into your store. So I don't know, even if we did run kind of a local search campaign or a local campaign, how effective it's actually going to be, because I don't have any data to say how many people are coming in the store each week or anything like that. So I'm not like, people wouldn't come to me if they want to increase foot traffic to their store. They'd come to me if they want to sell more product online. And as much as, I offer advice where I can, but I feel like getting foot traffic in the door, you need to be creating social content to show what the experience is like in store. Like, why would people want to come in when they can purchase online? So you almost have to portray that the experience that they're getting and the benefits of coming in store over social or over video ads or something along those lines. So it's probably very few that ask me about foot traffic, and to be honest, I feel like the ones that are asking about getting foot traffic almost want the foot traffic to justify having a physical store. Like, it's getting to that point where it's like, should we even have a physical store when we can just move to a warehouse and just sell all these products online? So it's something that a lot of businesses are weighing up at the moment. And to be honest, my most successful clients just have the warehouse.
Mm.
um,
Yeah, you got to reverse engineer what's working and what's not. Like, I think, yeah, the days of people going to the shop to buy things as the main form of their shopping is probably longer. Um, so yeah, there needs to be a real incentive for people to actually come out to that store and create some experience within that. Otherwise, yeah, you're not going to
thought
get
about
people
it.
through the door.
I thought about it the other day actually, because like, I've started running again, but I want to get the right runners for me. And a lot of the shoe stores at the moment have kind of machines that you can go and get tested for your gait style. It does an analysis on your feet and then can kind of recommend a shoe for you. They're the kind of experiences that I would go in store for. It's something that I can't get online, and it's easy, and then you can go and get like personal recommendations on what would actually be best for you. So if you want people in store, I think you kind of need to figure out what those experiences are that they can't get online or that they'd be missing out by shopping online. For example, if I was to buy shoes, the thing I would be missing out on is, hey, are these actually good for me? I'm just guessing. And where I could go in and get tested and do my run gait and find out how my foot's leaning and where I need additional support, and which shoes would be best for all those aspects related to my foot, where online you just have to guess. So for those businesses that are wanting foot traffic, what's the experience that they're getting in store that they can't get online? And once that experience is there, then how do you market it? How do you get it out? And I think for me, it would be through shorts, a lot of shorts on either Instagram, TikTok, and videos on longer form videos on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, I think you need to create more of a custom experience.
Mm.
Like for example, I've gone into the past to a tailor shop, and like, I'm enjoying the experience of picking out the different patterns, colors of shirts. Yes, I've actually ordered some tailored shirts online, but like, I'm doing my own measurements. I'm not sure if it's going to turn out right. Um,
Exactly.
so you can do it online, but it's not the same as actually going in store, and speaking to someone who kind of specializes in tailoring. So yeah, I think this probably the in store experience, that custom shopping approach, is probably the one that works the best. Um, yeah, in terms of what you're selling. If it's just a generic thing that anyone can just buy online, you know, how likely are you to get them into the store?
What are you doing from an SEO perspective for traffic in terms of like what does a business need to do from an SEO perspective to be like in the map packs and showing up locally for
Yeah,
business
so
listings and for kind of e-commerce businesses that do have storefronts?
this is something that I've done in the past, but I by no means, because I've been out of it for a while, because really the strategy is what we'd call like a local SEO strategy. And the majority of clients that I work with now are online e-commerce stores. They don't have that need to bring people in. So I'm going to give you an answer based on what I am known has worked
Previous
in the past.
experience?
However,
Yeah.
yeah, but there's probably updated tactics on how to get featured in that map pack. But really, I know for sure that reviews are super important. Like you can have all the information filled out in your Google My Business or Google Places, it's called now, and
Oh, is it
if
really?
you
I
don't
didn't even
have,
know that it had changed.
yeah, I think it's Google Places, yeah. Um, and it's yeah, you can have basically you can have all the you know photos, information. But if you don't have any reviews, it's very difficult to get into that map pack. So actually, if you focus, like if you probably focused 70-80% of your attention on just getting Google reviews, you're probably, and don't do anything else, you're probably going to have a really good chance of getting in that map pack. Um, then
Actually,
it's
that's
just making sure
that's a
that you've
really
got
good
the right
point.
information on
Something I
there.
hadn't even thought of. So I think I might add that to my kind of standard response about, foot traffic. Like, hey, focus on getting your reviews up.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ranking signals. It's the equivalent of content and backlinks for doing traditional SEO campaigns. So, um,
I've been doing a fair bit of work on reviews lately, actually, because it does fit into kind of the scope of Google Ads Manager. Basically, it sits in the back end of the Merchant Center, and if you add your reviews to the Merchant Center, you can get them to display on your actual Google Ads. Like it will show on your shopping ads, you'll notice some of the ads or some of the image products have like a star rating under them. I think it's what a lot of people don't realize though is, and this is kind of I wouldn't say a pain point, but it's an annoyance for one of my customers on the reviews. So basically, you've got Google seller reviews, where that's where people review kind of the store experience. And then you got product reviews where people are reviewing the actual product. So they're not actually reviewing your store, they're reviewing whether they like the product or not. Now, what some review platforms and the platform that I'm speaking of specifically is called Judge Me, and it's quite a popular one on Shopify. They display product ratings on like if you're putting your review on your homepage, they're showing the product rating reviews. So if you have a really great experience for your clients, and I'm thinking specifically for a supplement store, like they've had a couple of one-star reviews because the person didn't like the taste of the product or it was horrible. They said they couldn't consume it. So that's one star, but it's showing up on the front page of the website. It's basically taking product reviews and kind of displaying them as, hey, this is the overall um, review of the business. So it's something to keep in mind as well, how you manage Google seller rating reviews versus product rating reviews and where you're displaying what. Now, the downfall with Judge Me is it's not kind of a recognized review platform by Google at this stage. So they can't integrate the the Google seller rating because the review platforms that Google use, they need to be approved by Google. which not a lot of people know. So the big ones are like Trustpilot, and another really popular one on Shopify is Okendo. A lot of my clients use Okendo. I actually like Okendo, but to get the when you're looking at the store quality in the back end of Merchant Center, to get the store rating, you need to use the Google specific plugin, which is, and it's not related to the product, because as soon as someone purchases from the store, it pops up straight away and says, "How was your buying experience on this store?" And they kind of leave a seller review there, and they're not reviewing the products; they're reviewing the experience of that they had on the store. So yeah, reviews are. Thinking of one of my clients that has, close to 8,000 reviews. They spent a lot of time on it. They're across multiple review platforms, so they use Trustpilot and Okendo, but it's a lot easier to manage when you've got that level, like those numbers of reviews. If you've got 50 reviews and you get like two one-star reviews come in, it's going to make a pretty significant drop in like those star ratings. So
Yeah.
the more you can kind of entice the customers that love shopping with you, usually through email. You usually follow up through email and ask for a review either like 2 weeks after the product's been delivered. One mistake I see e-commerce businesses make is they ask for the email review a week after they purchased, and a lot of the time they haven't even got the product yet. So a lot of smart asses will review, "Oh, I'd love to review this product, but I haven't even got it yet, 1 star." So make sure you're make sure when you're requesting reviews via email that, one, you've given enough time for the product to actually arrive, and two, just have a look at that length of time and what your email is actually saying. Because if you're insinuating on the email like, "Hey, we hope you're loving your product," it's just going to annoy the customer even more because they're thinking, "Well, I should have already had it. What's going on?" So
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. It's yeah. No, the reviews is huge. The thing is, like I said, it's difficult because there's just so many platforms. Like, you've got Google, you've got Trustpilot, you've got, then the different apps for Shopify to get the reviews. It's figuring out what to focus on as well, I think.
the Google, so when you go into the back end of Google Merchant Center, the reviews is actually part of how they rank your store quality. So if you haven't connected your reviews to the Merchant Center, yeah, you should definitely do that, because I think it's some of the businesses that are coming to me where their ratings stuck on kind of a great quality score. They want to get it to that exceptional. Usually, when we plug in the reviews, it moves to exceptional within a week. So it is pretty significant. And the other thing I would review is kind of your shipping policy and your returns policy. A lot of businesses haven't even added that to the merchant center, and it makes a difference. Like I noticed the clicks the clicks jump by probably like 10% when you're an exceptionally rated store, because you actually get a badge in the shopping part of Google. It makes your listing stand out, and if they're showing you as kind of a trusted seller, then it's just kind of, oh, what's that word? Not the
It's authority, isn't it?
yeah, that's it. The authority factor and the trust factor. So yeah, definitely implement your reviews onto the Google Merchant Center. And actually, just this week, actually, I've noticed that they've just included in the Merchant Center. There's a brand new brand section where you can add social media videos, you can add photos from your business. So there's a whole lot of, and this is brand new. I've only seen it in one of my clients, and it's the only one that has it at the moment. So it's kind of early release, but one of the advantages of being an exceptional rated store is you get early access to all these beta features too, so you can test them out before anyone's even seen them. So in saying that, not all my clients that have the exceptional rating have access to this yet, so I'm not 100% sure how they choose who they roll it out to, but yeah, there's some more stuff coming in kind of the merchant center, and I think Google are focusing on it a lot more too, in terms of quality feed and improving their shopping network because it's their bread and butter at the moment, and AI is trying to encroach it. So they're wanting to make that experience as good as possible.
Yeah, for sure. The because that quality score rating, the badge, you can put that on your website, can't you? You can integrate it
Yeah, I
into
think you
your
can. I think you can download
yeah.
it too. So I haven't done that. Um, but actually, it's
It's
good.
on one of
Probably a
my
good
client
point. I
stores.
probably I probably should email my clients that have it and say, hey, this badge is available for you if you want to put it in the footer of your website or something like that. The thing is, with those exceptional stores, if they've just moved from great to exceptional, sometimes it flickers between both over the next couple of months. But yeah, it's probably a good call getting the as many authority badges on the site as you can anyway. So um,
Yeah.
got to so see what I mean? Like these calls, I've already got two things I can go to clients with. One, the one that wants foot traffic, say, hey, go work on your reviews. And there's actually a really strong online marketing aspect to that. Like, hey, you need to put this in your email flows to encourage more reviews. Like I can kind of consult on that. I can't consult on like, hey, do some guerrilla marketing locally to drive foot traffic. Like as much as I love that stuff, I don't like consulting on that stuff. I like seeing, hey, do this, we can measure the results and change this, this, and this based on what we see. But yeah, so using the reviews to further drive potential foot traffic or helping map pat ratings, or even your shopping ads, uh, and yeah, getting the badge on store for the trust element as well.
Yeah, no, that's some good points. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about, Jimmy, was posted in the group the other week actually about because Google had this speech where they came out, they were talking about various updates. So there's a lot happening. You know, they're talking about having integrating AI, what they call Gemini, within their search results pages, so you can basically click and it will give you, uh, you'll be able to basically ask AI about that particular web page. Um, I think I can't remember. I sent you a link the other day. There's going to be some. I think AI overviews. There's going to be some paid ad features into that. Um, yeah, that was what I sent you. I'm not sure if you had a chance to take a look into that yet, Jimmy, but
That's what I have. I think
that looked interesting.
so I haven't actually watched that video via Google yet, but I just had to log into LinkedIn and pretty much get a pretty good summary of it
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
quickly because I mean the majority of people that I follow on LinkedIn are kind of in my industry, so everyone was posting about it like they discovered gold and this is what's coming, and so oh, this is hyped a little bit, but I like
Yeah,
to kind of review that stuff after the hype's worn down and the dust has settled and some people that or resources that I trust actually kind of summarize everything and give their take on it. I think after the first announcements, I think a lot of the content that comes out is extremely clickbaity. Like, hey, this is what's coming, check this out. Like, they've got no idea what's actually coming. It's just, some promise in the wind. But um, yeah, I think it's important to be on top of what's coming, especially for e-commerce. I'm seeing so many shifts at the moment. People's margins are getting smaller and smaller and more because there's so much to do. They're getting more and more people involved, and then that's another piece of the pie that they're losing. So it's yeah, it's I know I said it earlier, but I feel sorry for e-commerce store owners at the moment. Like there's so much to do, it's overwhelming. So and I think the ones that do well have people that they can trust. Like I like to feel that I'm that person for my clients, especially for the Google ads. Like, hey, let's get this to here. This is where it needs to go. Leave it with me. I'll get it done for you. So they can focus on the logistics, the product sourcing, customer support, whatever, like that side of the business. I think where some business owners fall down or where the business growth stunts is you've got one business owner trying to do everything, and they just can't. Even if it was my e-commerce business, I'd just be like constant overwhelm because you'd have a list of 1,000 things that you need to do. And you're like, okay, where do I start? Like,
Yeah, that is a lot. I think one of the things that I was just talking to Jimmy off before we started off camera, and I've been doing a lot of SEO audits over the last couple of weeks, and it made me realize the importance of making sure that you hire the right SEO specialist or whatever various marketing discipline to do a good job, because um, I can give you an example of one critical error that an e-commerce store has made, where based on a recommendation from their SEO, they basically moved their entire blog from their main domain to a completely different domain. Um, and I can't, for the life of me, understand why they made that decision. Um, but they've lost a significant amount of traffic. Um, and then there was another domain that I also reviewed where it's probably been the worst drop of traffic that I've ever seen. Basically, their traffic dropped organically like 99.9%.
I,
The graph on Google Search Console looks like a crypto meme rug, Paul. It's like goes bang.
was it significant traffic like before the drop?
Yeah, like significant, like talking they were getting thousands of clicks a day down to they're now, it just hasn't recovered. It's like they're maybe getting 50 clicks. So they went from, I did some like comparison data over like the last 90 days versus year on year, the 90 days in 2024. And like in 2024, over that 90-day period, they were getting like, I think it was 113,000 clicks. And in just this last 90 days, they were getting just 775
Oh
clicks.
wow. There wasn't like
So
a
like,
there wasn't like a trending spike in the year previous that like there wouldn't be anything to explain the massive amounts of traffic increase. It's like they've effed up and made a SEO poor decision, and that's what's tanked it. That's
yeah, no,
that like 100,000 clicks over 90 days. So depending on what industry you're into, like think about it like this: 100,000 clicks. Some of those, depending on what industry you are, like if it's in kind of the e-commerce space, some of those clicks can be worth, $2, $3 each. So if you're looking at it like
yeah,
that over 90 days, it's like $200,000, $300,000 worth of traffic that you've now just lost.
yeah, no, it was crazy. It's probably, I mean, I've been doing SEO now for over a decade, and it's probably the worst case I've ever seen in terms of a drop off. Like I've
But
seen some royal, yeah, fuck ups, but this has got to be up there with probably the worst case I've seen. And I'm still trying to figure out like what went wrong, because supposedly they tried to take that domain and migrate it to another domain, um, and that for whatever reason caused some form of an issue. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to think. Is it, even with a Google penalty, the pet, like it's gradual. It's typical. You can see a drop off, but it's kind of gradual. Like it's a gradual decline.
yeah.
And usually you can go into Google Search Console and look under, I think it's yeah, manual penalty. So you can find out whether you've potentially got a Google penalty, and there's nothing in there to suggest that. So I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around and figure out what has caused such drop off. And uh, the the guys from the company are certainly being a bit sheepish in terms of the ones that were kind of responsible for the SEO. And um, yeah, clearly something went wrong, but it just shows the importance of, having people on board that know what they're doing.
Yeah, what do you do with that kind of
Uh,
stuff? Do you go like on Wayback Machine and have a look what the site looked like before the drop, or um,
Yeah, there's
is
a
it a
few. I mean,
URL structure issue, or yeah, I don't know.
I yeah, you could look back in some of the indexing. Way back, like I said, is another one where you can kind of see like what was the site like beforehand. Um, it's difficult because when you don't have the full picture, you don't know what's gone on. Something has gone on where they've made a switch, and when you don't have the full picture, it's very difficult to like give concrete answers. Um,
I think that's really, really important thing that e-commerce stores should be implementing across their business. Hey, if there's a big change, we need a log of what happened. So, and from their like freelancers too, if they've got them, like, hey, if you're going to make a big change on the store, we need it logged on this platform just to say, made this change today, it might have an impact on traffic, or made
yeah,
this change. And whatnot. So I think I mean, paid, it's pretty easy to diagnose what goes wrong on paid. But
yeah,
for things that like people might not know that, the developers changed something in the robot text file or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
And there's no way for anyone to kind of see that from the outside. So I think having a log of major changes is potentially important, especially when you get people coming in that know what they're doing, like yourself, Charles, and they're trying to diagnose it, and everyone in the company's like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." It's like, well, that's the first problem. You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't just lose
yeah.
99% of your traffic and no one have any idea why.
I know. Yeah, there's something has gone on there. And actually going back to the initial issue that I mentioned about the blog, one thing that I would stress if you are decide to redirect, an entire section of your site or your whole site to a new domain, make sure that you're matching up the URLs directly. So what I mean by that is, if you have individual blog posts, don't just redirect it to the blog home section or main blog section, redirect it to the exact same post on the new domain, because then you actually keep that ranking and traffic equity rather than losing it, because basically those blog posts will still be found within Google. So if they click on it and it just clicks straight through to a blog main, the main blog post section, but not the individual blog post, then you lose that visitor, you lose that equity. So yeah, super important to set up those 301 redirects correctly.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing, how much traffic they lost. I mean,
Yeah.
the traffic loss is bad, but in my head, it goes straight towards how much that traffic was worth revenue-wise.
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, yeah. Um, there's no doubt that it's had an impact on their business, and you can see it now also in, not just the traffic drop off, but the rankings nowhere near as good as what they had before. So something fundamental has gone wrong there. Um, that's my job to try and figure out on some level what has happened. But yeah, like I said, difficult when you don't have the full picture.
Yeah, 100%. That's a question of how do you get the full picture. So, um, yeah, sure. Well, hopefully in a couple of weeks you can report back to us the whole picture of what went
Yeah.
wrong so other people can avoid it.
Yeah, look, I think probably what I'm not sure how salvageable it's going to be. It may actually make more sense to redirect the site to basically this was like a US site .us, but migrate it to the .com, which is the most prominent domain they've got and actually drives the most US traffic to all of their domains already. So actually, probably doing the migration and redirecting might be the best approach rather than trying to salvage something which, yeah, the other approach is to just, yeah, potentially, you know take the site completely down, start from scratch, re-index it, and see how it performs in the next 3 to 6 months. Um, but it can't really get any worse. So,
Yeah. I
um,
think you messaged me recently, Charles. I think you were keen to do some just site reviews. So maybe we'll not that one specifically, but maybe we'll do some more site stuff. But maybe we'll pre-pick them so we can kind of dive in a little bit ourselves to give a bit of a um deeper insight rather than on the fly. And we can do on the fly too, but I think sometimes if you've had a good look at something, you can give kind of more valuable insight. But yeah, we might post in the Facebook group at Shopify Marketing Secrets. Anyone that wants their store involved. Otherwise, we'll go out and find a couple and put them in that video.
yeah, it seems to be one of our better performing, videos
Yeah,
when I was
when
sorting
we
through.
say better performing, we mean like 50 views compared to 20.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. It got more than 10 views.
But
It's
no, I
it.
agree.
You know
Like
what? It's gonna.
we're data driven,
Uh,
so if that's where the data's pointing, then we'll
yeah,
start doing more of that.
for sure. You know what, Jimmy? One day we're gonna hit like some random number, like 100, and like suddenly one video will just take off. And that's what they always say, isn't it? It's all about repetition and just putting value out there, and then um, yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll have more than
Yeah,
15 subscribers or
yeah.
however
Once
many
we're
we've
both
got.
millionaires, we can pay someone to properly edit some of these up to make the videos more, I guess, viral. In terms
Yeah,
of what
yeah,
people want to watch. So at the moment, like I know it's a long stint sitting through one of these. I sit through a few of them myself, to be honest, and if those, 20 people that are watching watch a fair chunk of it, like reach out to us. Like I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone
right.
watching these, as long as you're in e-commerce in Australia and no, 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 like yeah, feel free to reach out if you've got any questions or honestly, like Charles and I would probably, well, I'm speaking for myself because I don't want to speak for Charles, but I would dedicate a bit of time to jumping on a call with you and just helping you out or
Yeah, absolutely. Same here.
hearing where you're at and what you want help with and, formulating a quick plan to kind of get you going in the right direction.
Yeah, and like you said, the offer's always open. I mean, I did a little audit for one of the guys in the Shopify Marketing Secrets group a while back, which actually led to some business for myself. But I did it providing value up front without any expectation. And I'm more than happy to do that for anyone if they need some help and they want to take that plan and execute it themselves. So, and I'm sure Jimmy's the same. So we're here if you need us.
I think I'm kind of waiting for that moment where someone does watch and reaches. We've dropped a few Easter eggs in some previous episodes, whereas if they comment this random word in the group, then we'll do this. If someone did comment one of those random words, I have to go back to our episodes and see what we actually promised them at the time. Because one, I didn't write it down, so I've got no idea. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, if someone did reach out with a small Easter egg from the show, then um, yeah, I'd be more than happy just to, help them out in the e-commerce world, especially at the moment. Far out, it's tough for e-commerce store owners out there, and even for example, I one of my clients had a really good chat with like 2 months ago, and they sounded super excited. They were ready to implement. I haven't heard from them again in that 2 months. Like I've followed up several times, and just crickets, um, and then yeah, so it's. And then I've got another client that if I email, they reply within half an hour, usually anytime I've sent an email. And they're probably my most successful client. They're just whatever needs to be done, they just do it instantly. Like it's the difference, and they're doing over. Well, I don't want to. They're doing over $1 million a month. Um, and I kind of compare what they're like compared to clients that are doing between 20 and 50K a month, and it's just night and day. Like the operators at those two different levels, it's just night and day.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think at the lower end, they're still kind of trying to figure things out, and also they're probably having to wear multiple different hats as well. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like when you're making $1 million a month, you've got the resource to then start building out your team and scaling.
To be fair, this
Whereas,
business owner is still very much in the weeds and involved in a lot of the things. I think that's why I work so well with them too. Like they know everything, every little thing that's happening in their business. Like it's actually really inspiring to me. I'm like, fire out, this is why this business is doing so well. It's this person here that's running it. Like she's incredible. Like she does an amazing job. So yeah, it's inspiring to me too, and it makes me. I think we spoke about this on a previous episode. It makes me want to do a better job for them. Um,
yeah,
and I think we spoke along the lines the other day. Like, there's not a whole lot additional stuff I can do when the client I hear from like 2 months later. I could have been actioning like based on our discussions, like all these different things. But if you can't get in contact with the client, you've just got to do kind of your standard optimizations, going through managing the account. Like there's no above and beyond that you can offer because they're just uncontactable.
yeah, no, for sure. And I've noticed that with one of my clients recently, where for a long time it's very difficult to get in contact, and now we're having like monthly meetings with all of the different stakeholders involved and the other, the different agencies, and it just makes a world of difference. Like we're actually getting a lot more things done, and we're able to bring more to the table, and
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
yeah, it just makes
Makes a
much
big
more
difference.
sense.
I think a lot of people look down on kind of marketing managers, but one, I think people look down on them one because they can't do a lot of the technical stuff. Like I've worked with some marketing managers that would have no idea about marketing in general, but they're really good at managing all the kind of freelancers under them. Um, and they know marketing at a really general level, but if they had to implement the stuff, oh my gosh, like good luck to that business. But I think if you've got a really good marketing manager that can manage all the moving parts for the freelancers that you've got managing multiple things, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Well, a really good marketing manager really is just a very good project manager.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right.
if you think about it. Um,
Yeah, the only
Certainly the larger
marketing
the
the only
company.
marketing part of it is they're managing marketing people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously they've got, they're
They got a
usually the
bachelor
decision
degree that
maker.
means absolutely nothing in marketing.
Yeah, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one thing I learned about marketing at university. I could tell you how many vodka Red Bulls I had at the weekend, but yeah. So no, you're right. It's important to have those conversations on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, honestly, they're paying for the service. So I don't know why they wouldn't be. I think we've spoken about this before. So, um, like I work with a few clients, and monthly email goes out every week, and out of all those clients that get their reports, there's a link in there to book a call with me to discuss like the results and just where we're going the next month. Two out of like my whole client base ever use that link ever. Like it's crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
you're paying for knowledge and expertise, yet um you can't give up like half an hour or an hour in a month to like understand what's going on in a platform that's driving in a lot of cases in a lot of my clients like over 50% of their revenue every month.
Wild, isn't it? Yeah.
It's insane. But
Well, I guess on the flip side, it at least shows that they trust you on some level if they're
Well, it's
but
hard to know sometimes whether they trust you or
yeah,
they just got no idea what's going on. So the ones that I
yeah,
am in regular contact with, obviously, um, there's a very high level of trust there. So because obviously I'm kind of like some of the marketing decisions, like I have to say, all right, let's try this. And it could have a significant downfall or it could improve things drastically. Especially when, so this is one of the biggest mistakes I see, uh, like Google Ads managers coming in on an account that's been running for ages. They will turn off everything and then build all these new campaigns and run their own system. It's the worst way to do it because especially if it's a business doing, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands a day. Um, that down period of that learning phase for all your new campaigns, like it could cost the business hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need to move over to a new system gradually. So don't kill off what's working and driving a lot of their revenue just because you want to implement a new campaign structure or a new way of doing things. You implement your structure, you reduce the budgets of what's working already, and you slowly make the transition over.
Yeah, yeah. It's just similar principles apply with SEO. Like you'll see SEOs come in and they'll try and make minor changes which actually cause more issues than actual positive impacts. I mean, I've seen it literally when I was auditing a site this week, and it's like they had like a bunch of redirects set up, and really the intention was to try and create more optimized URLs. And I'm like, yeah, but if that page is already ranking well, why tamper around with the URL? Like, I'm only going to change that typically when it's a brand new page, and or it's really underperforming.
I know
Um,
why they would do something. Like I've had similar thoughts. Like one of my clients, a lot of their URLs have free same day shipping at the end of the URL because it was copied over from their eBay account. Um, and they don't offer free same day shipping on their Shopify store, but like I'd say probably 2,000 of their links have it in there for their on their product pages. And I was like, oh, I want to swap this, but it's not worth it. And who's reading the product links?
Yeah, well, in that case, that's actually a really probably the right decision to make those changes because it's probably costing them potentially some conversions. But in this case, it was clear they just wanted to create a more keyword rich
That's it.
URL and
Yeah.
just add a couple of extra words in, which for me just doesn't make sense and doesn't actually have that much extra ranking benefit.
Yeah, I think let's leave e-commerce owners with this. I think when you're looking at what you need to do on your store, start writing down the things that are going to make macro changes, like big changes in your business. Don't go fishing after those tiny like one percenters until you're up to that point. I think based off everything we've discussed, have a look at your SEO where you can get the big wins. Start writing some blog articles that are potentially going to bring in a lot of traffic on your paid side. Get a get another opinion on your account where your growth opportunities are. And I think the biggest one for e-commerce businesses, the one that's neglected the most, is their email marketing. So you can have macro wins in email marketing just by fixing that up and cleaning that up. And I'm not talking about like a small change. If you get that right, it can drive an extra 10 to 20% on your bottom line monthly revenue. So, like significant impacts. So, too many people are trying to make these tiny optimizations that are doing nothing. Like, start focusing on the macro things that are start producing organic content. I mean, I think I think everyone's seen the guy from China that sells those LED light signs. Have you seen him, Charles?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
We've
yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
we've never discussed him, but I know. Um, I just I thought that you might have seen. I've seen him everywhere. He's so funny. And if I was going to buy an LED light sign, I'd buy it through his company, like without a doubt. It's like it makes me laugh. It looks like they have a good product, and you need to implement something like that for your business. That's a macro level strategy, like putting out that organic content. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can go on the macro stuff, but yeah, start to start to explore, hey, what's actually going to move the needle in my business, and depending on what the business is, it's going to be different for everyone, which is why Charles and I aren't going to sit here and say, everyone go and do this, because every e-commerce store is different. But I will say, majority of you should look at your emails first.
Good summary. Good summary. All right, guys. Well, yeah, go check us out on Facebook, Shopify Marketing Secrets. Until next week, we'll catch you then.
See you guys. Take care. Speak soon.